Welcome back. We have to look at a lot of results other than the banking results as well. For these and other questions, Mayuresh Joshi, Fund Manager PMS at Angel Broking, has joined us. Mayuresh, good morning. There were a bunch of other numbers other than Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank that came out yesterday. Were you impressed by, say, a Jai Bharat Maruti?
Morning, Lata. Yes, I think the numbers seem impressive on the face of it. But largely, I think how the markets behave will predominantly happen on the global headwinds. The French elections, for example, I think will have a say in terms of the market volatility going forward. But again, I think key numbers that are expected today, I think, again, that will give a direction in terms of the IT sector. Siant, Mastec, Mindtree is coming out from the metal space in zinc. So largely, I think the market is of the opinion that Q4 is going to be soft and tepid for IT, for a few of the banks as well. So I think again, it is going to be a stock-specific approach in my opinion.
Okay, Mayuresh, good morning. Let's discuss some stocks. I believe you have two picks for our viewers today.
Morning, Anuj. Oh yes. So if one goes with the logic again that the markets do correct and show sign of weakness, and these stocks correct, say 8 to 10%, I think they can become good buying opportunities. The first one is VIP Industries, market leader in the luggage space. 6,000 crores is the market space that the luggage industry probably enjoys at this point of time, with 55 to 60% being unorganized. So that's one big advantage with VIP. 50% share in the organized market share. With GST coming through, it's going to be a clear beneficiary. The other important aspect that comes through for VIP is its asset light model. So the entire outsourcing comes through from China, and the currency impact also looks very, very minimal considering the yuan and the rupee equation on that front. Second, the working capital requirements itself are very, very minimal, and they've got a superb control on inventory and the debt levels, which gives rise to that the debt equity levels are absolutely low on their balance sheet. Dividend yield in excess of 1%, and looking at how crude prices are behaving at this point of time, polypropylene, which is probably one of the raw materials used for hard luggage, I think you'll see some softness there, which will ensure that the margins are maintained around that 10% trajectory. So our own sense is that a very robust top line and bottom line growth, and we perceive a substantial upside from VIP if one really holds out over the next 15 to 18 months. From the banking space, as I mentioned, I think there is still inherent signs in terms of the corporate facing balance sheets with watch lists, and Karur Vysya Bank also has a significant exposure to the corporate side in terms of the textile segment specifically, which had taken a huge toll in terms of their asset quality. The GNPAs had increased significantly to 2.68. The net NP ratios had increased significantly to 1.55. The credit costs.
But Mayuresh, you know, the stock has rallied. Karur Vysya has already rallied 50% since December. Don't you think most of the juice is out, or do you expect more?
No, I do expect more, and the whole point, Sonia, is again the premise that if the stock corrects, I think it becomes a good buying opportunity, as I said. But the entire premise here is that the kind of credit growth that we saw in FY17 of 3.3% largely should get arrested at the end of Q4. As credit growth start resuming to the system as a whole, Karur should benefit. The kind of stress that we've seen on the corporate side should reduce significantly, and the credit cost that they're reporting of around 130, 140 bips should start coming down. If they can't start coming down and normalize around 65, 70 bips, the kind of accretion that it can have on earnings, on ROAs and ROEs, can be quite significant. Okay. So I think if the stock corrects, I think it becomes a good time.
Yep. We are coming back in a minute. Our commodities editor is waiting by to give us the commodity cues of the morning. Manisha, good morning to you. Some recovery in crude?
Well, it sure is, yes, and the crude investors really are looking at the US weekly inventory data, where you did see a decline in the crude inventories, and that really seems to be supportive right now. But the gasoline inventories jumped, and that was really a surprise for the markets. And that the knee-jerk reaction yesterday that you saw was the biggest one-day decline in 6 weeks. We did see prices decline to 2.5-week lows, but in Asia there is buying back into this one. While the US output has been increasing, and that is something that the markets have factored in, what really is uncertain is the OPEC meeting now on 25th of May, and there have been statements from OPEC officials that they would merge this meeting with the non-OPEC members as well to talk about whether or not there is going to be an extension on the output cut. So that is what you will see volatility increase as we get into the month of May, especially for the crude oil prices. When it comes to the metal space, it is all about the money moving from one metal to other one really. As per the latest CFTC data shows that the copper longs have gone into half. If there were 10,000 contracts long in March, it just just stands at 5,000 longs as of now. So while there has been a decline there, but the funds are not clearly out of that. The current favorite really seems to be aluminum. You have seen very strong long being created onto that one. The other metal to keep an eye on, of course, is the gold prices. While you have seen $8 billion of money coming into gold funds in the first quarter of this year, nearly 80% of that has gone into gold, and that is standing quite tall. Even as we have seen the gold prices come off $20 from its Monday highs, this is one commodity that nobody is really talking about going short, with the kind of uncertainties that we are getting ahead on as we get into the next week itself.
Okay, Manisha, thank you very much for that. The key point that you're making is that aluminum is off its lows and a lot of long positions have been created. Now, aluminum has been in the eye of a lot of news with Chinese smelters probably going off production because of a pollution cleansing drive. How does this impact NALCO? We've seen a strong response to their offer for sale separately, which was underway, and the government has chosen to keep its green shoe option there. Mr. T.K. Chand, the Chairman and Managing Director of NALCO, has joined us on the phone line.
A huge boost in aluminum prices, and that's definitely going to help them in terms of their margins going ahead. The stock has been a decent performer as well, gone from about 40 to 75 over the last 6 months. We'll take a short break on that note. We'll come back just in time with the pre-opening rates and some F&O strategies as well. Hi, welcome back to the show. Let's get a quick handle on what's happening with the global markets. The last time we saw the SGX Nifty, not much was happening. But then again, we have our own cues to deal with too, right? The banking names and the pressure there. Vinod Sharma of HDFC Securities joins in. He's the head of business private client group, and he'll give us some F&O strategies as well. Vinod, good morning. Before I ask you about your own strategies, what would you do with names like some of the new entrants in the F&O market? You know, some of the marquee names, Canfin Homes, Bajaj Finserv, Balkrishna Industries.
Yeah, I was listening to Anuj, and therefore I have a lot of bouquet for to be given to NSE guys for having picked the right stocks. So it's good, and all of these are good names. And among these, I think one that will so it will give investors a time to write their calls also. Stocks like Canfin Homes, which have appreciated so much. So within that, I think I'll also, in addition to what Anuj has said, maybe I agree with on Raymond's, but I also look at stock like Fortis, which is closed at a all-time high, and also another stock which is there.
NBCC?
Yeah.
NBCC?
Not NBCC. Yeah, but I'm forgetting the name.
Okay.
But mind you, this list is going up by 16 to take it up to 205 stocks. We've had in the 2009 268 stocks. So 15 came a month before, 16 have come now, and expect more because before the NSE IPO. So it could, I'm linking the two together. And you could see more stocks coming in. Okay,
yeah, we have to link it to the IPO as well. But I'll try and remind you of which stocks they are, if possible. The 15 stocks that did go: Balkrishna, NBCC, Mahanagar Gas, Berger, Canfin Homes, Cholamandalam Investment, GSFC, MCX, Nestle, V-Guard, Godfrey Phillips, Bajaj Finserv, Mangalore Refinery, that is MRPL, Balrampur Chini, Raymond and Fortis. So you're most bullish on Raymond and Fortis.
Raymond and Fortis.
Okay.
And yes.
Fine.
Balrampur and Fortis and MRPL and Raymond's, they've had, this is their second coming now. They were earlier in the list also.
Okay, okay. Well, you have a minute before the market opens. So your first, your quick Nifty strategy?
Nifty strategy, we continue to believe that the market is going to hold up at the level of 9025 is going to be a good support. The earlier break support is not going to break. So you buy the dips, any dip that comes your way, 20-30 points, to be sold at a 30-40 point gains thereafter. Among the stocks, can we take time enough?
Sure, you do. You do have about 40 seconds. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I think the one stock that will definitely be on my list today is the buying the 440 call in IOC. Selling the 450 call gives you a bull spread, and cost comes to 3 and maximum profit that you can have is 7. And easiest stock with all prices going down, I think they should do well.
Okay, well, that's the call on IOC. We still have about a few seconds for the markets to open. Maybe we want to pull up the SGX Nifty just to prepare you for what the Asian markets are doing and if there will be any shadows of Asian markets. Okay, mixed bag, largely in the green. Today has been a recovery story in Asian markets. They have not followed the DJIA. It's practically all indices are showing a decent amount of green. Nifty is flat. SGX Nifty alone is flat. The first rates are showing a little bit of red, but really we will have to look only at Yes Bank's numbers because that's the one where it's not 10% lower. But clearly some disappointment will be expressed on the Yes Bank stock. Maybe we want to pull up IndusInd as well. IndusInd could recover. It had already expressed its disappointment.
It is in the green actually, 1.5% higher. So as you said, it mostly reacted to its numbers yesterday.
Yeah, that was done and dusted. Anuj, any
Yes
further
Bank
observations?
Has recovered all of it. It's been a strong stock, of course. At lower level, there would be some support for Yes Bank. So even that's not doing badly. But I think the stock of the morning could well be Shalimar Paints, up 20% on that name. And of course, volumes are low, but that should pick up. Godfrey Phillips is the other one getting added in F&O, so that stock as well should be on your radar. V-Guard as well, up about 4%. So Fortis Healthcare, good stocks are getting added in F&O this time. MCX, today is going to be the story of new inclusions in F&O because names are also good. GSFC as well. So a lot of stocks doing well.
Couple of more stocks reacting to news. Jai Bharat Maruti is up about 5% in addition to that 60% gain it's seen this year. So after good set of numbers, Jai Bharat Maruti is putting on some more weight, 7.5% there. You have good numbers from Saskin this quarter. So Rima was telling us about the core margin improvement that has aided numbers. So Saskin is up almost about 3.5% there. CLSA has changed its view on Sun TV from a sell to a buy. Well, Sun TV has been in a trajectory of its own on the upside. So in any case, it's been doing well, up almost about 2% over there. And you know, Anuj was talking about Shalimar Paints, where Purinju's fund has bought into it, but it's also rubbed off on some other paint companies like Berger Paints, etc. So keep an eye out on that. But let's get a handle on some more stock ideas then. Our guests are still with us, Ashwini, Sudarshan, Mitesh, etc. Ashwini, I wanted your thoughts on some of these stocks that have been doing extremely well. Power Grid is one of them that has done really well this week, and it's been moving higher now at 211. How does it look?
See, power PSUs are doing very well, whether it's power financing companies or these Power Grid type of stocks. Even after the divestment news, they came back strongly. Power Grid, I think, is at new highs. Chances are move to 245, 250. PFC, REC are likely to resume their rallies. So all of these PSU stocks for a bit look interesting. Container Corporation is also moving up. So this is something to do with PSU, not all power stocks.
Okay. Ashwini, when we started the year, we did the show on the big trends for the year, and two stocks that you had spoken then, one was Mahanagar Gas and the other is Bajaj Finserv. Big gainers already and now getting into F&O. What strategy here?
Well, my sense is that NBFC bull market is here to stay. We can keep on talking about valuation, but they'll keep on confounding you. MGL, gas, Petronet, IGL, everything is done well. This has not been in the limelight. So now that it starts to attract attention and volume, etc., I think easily 1200, 1250 should happen here. Similarly, Bajaj Finserv, you know, it went down to 2600 during demonetization. So look at the rally from there. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if it becomes a 5800, 6000 rupee stock. See, this is that type of stock where, you know, you'll make your money 4-5 times over a few years. So this is your big one. India is capital starved. If your loan is coming back, all NBFCs will do well. So the problem is only where, you know, you have NPAs and corporate problems. NBFCs which are lending to small accounts or you know, anybody who's doing any other consumer finance business is doing very well, including Canfin Home, which has gone up about 50 to 60% in the last 3 months.
No, that's a fair point. That space is almost like irrepressibly doing very well. Okay, let's get some more F&O strategies going while we allow the markets to settle down. Yes Bank is still showing a lot of pain, but these are bids. And I still think that when they open, the remorse will not be so heavy. Let's get other stocks going in terms of strategies, Vinod.
Yes. One stock that came last month on this series was Suzlon. Now this was a stock which has been knocking on the doors for the last 20 months but got entered entry only last month. So this I am suggesting a bull spread here. You buy the 20 call at 45 paisa and sell the 22.5 call at 15 paisa. So your cost comes to 30 and your maximum profit, possible profit is 2.20. The OI which was added, whatever new additions were there was for the OI, so 260%, great. So I think this is one stock where people who are technically looking at can buy should the cash market close above 20.50, then they can just buy a call.
Fair point.
Well, Yes Bank now has stabilized to a 6.5% cut, but it's a 100 rupee cut nevertheless that the pre-opening rates are indicating. Ashwini, I wanted your thoughts on this. Do you think that for long-term investors, this could be sort of a mouth-watering opportunity to get into Yes Bank if it comes back to these 1500 levels, or can we get better levels over the next, say, week or so?
Well, you know, today I think people who were long for the results are going to get chopped. See, if you get a 100 point decline for starters, which I doubt will happen, you know, everybody, long term, short term, everybody should get in. But the futures trader should wait and see if this decline starts to get bought and, you know, the stock probably gains back 50% of what it loses. So if it opens 100 points lower, if it's able to gain back 50 points, that is when the futures trader should come in. I think long-term investors easily, this is the time to get into these stocks. What is wrong this quarter can easily get fixed next quarter. And obviously, knowing Yes Bank, chances are they will do something about it. So long-term bull market is likely to sustain in IndusInd and Yes Bank.
Fair point. Well, Sudarshan, on the same vein, or rather in the same vein, ICICI Bank, is there a chart pattern for a near-term trade?
No, there's a chart pattern for a short-term trade on the long side, but that didn't work out yesterday. But still, if the stock shows strength, there's a buying opportunity.
Okay.
Okay. Ashwini, one more stock that I wanted to discuss with you. Sun TV was one of your calls yesterday as well, 2% higher in pre-open.
See, Sun TV's life changed the moment, you know, Jayalalitha passed away. So, you know, now chances are we'll see it in 4 figures at some point. It is the strongest media stock. So, on all declines, it remains a buy and fairly strong stock. And this fresh move is likely to gain another 80 to 100 points.
Oh yes, you know, it's up 75% this year. Lata, you know, I remember the point that, you know, we made when we had that breakaway gap on Sun TV, is that, you know, what that breakaway gap did was that it removed the political, you know, uncertainty. The valuation catch-up was still to happen, and what you're seeing right now is the valuation catch-up between Sun TV and Zee Entertainment. There was a time when Sun TV had more market cap than Zee Entertainment. And then, you know, it became less than half of Zee Entertainment. What you're seeing now is a pure catch-up with Zee Entertainment.
All I can vouch for is the unalloyed devotion of its viewers. Yes. No two ways about it. I don't think any other channel other than maybe some of the sports channels during IPL, will have that devotion.
Or CNBC TV 18 on
Vinod is saying yes. I can understand why Lata watches Sun TV, but Vinod, you
No,
watch
I don't
Sun TV
watch.
as well?
I watch viewers who watch.
Vinod, you watch Sun TV as well?
No, I have my wife who understands these other languages. She also switches on.
I can tell you the devotion of that viewer group is,
it is no doubt
unbelievable.
the best.
So yeah, you cannot, they don't swerve to any other channel. It's that level of devotion, and it's a very intense, long period of time during the day. And I would assume people who can afford, so they will get a lot of advertisement revenue as well. Anyway, we are getting to other stocks as well that you have a strategy on.
Yeah, this is the same stock I have a strategy on. So I was nodding my head because of that.
Yeah.
So you have Sun TV. So the best way to do is to construct a bull spread. You buy the 860 call and sell the 900 call. You get around, cost comes to around 8 of construction of this bull spread, and maximum possible profit comes to 32. So the ratio is very alluring. One should in fact do it. The traders want to go long in Sun TV.
And then you have L&T Finance in your...
L&T Finance is a clean buy. This is a stock which has added 21% of OI in the current series. So I'm buying the 125 call here at 3.4, stop loss at 2.5, and possible to make 1.4 rupees by selling it at around 5.
Okay, the pre-open rates have settled. The Bank Nifty down 136 points. That's entirely because of Yes Bank. So will be interesting to see if we have any kind of follow through. Mitesh, your thoughts on the Bank Nifty and how would you trade it?
See, broadly, I think the Bank Nifty is still showing signs of a range-bound kind of movement. We talked about 21,500, 450 as a support zone. In case we break, and there's a good chance that we will because the intraday charts are extremely overbought, then I think there could be another further 200-point kind of correction. But around 21,200, 250 is a zone where I would consider buying. So maybe, around those levels, it could be a good short-term trade.
Okay, so Darshan, I wanted you to come in on some of these banks. Ashwini was telling us how for Yes Bank, if there is a big dip, then long-term, short-term investors should all get into it. What about the other banks? ICICI, Axis, IndusInd are all indicating that there could be a weak start. How would you approach them?
No, ICICI Bank and Axis have much better charts. They are now building large bases. So I would prefer to go with them rather than the banks that have already become high-flying.
Okay. At the moment, the stocks have just about settled, and Yes Bank looks like it will start with a minus 5%. ICICI is also starting with a 2% downtick. The fear that their provisioning will also go up. I don't know whether you should really fear the provisioning on account of JP, because that is a deal done, and it's just that the money has to come from Ultratech. So perhaps the market shouldn't worry so much about simply
JP
that
has been an issue that ICICI Bank has been facing for very long now. So I guess a lot of it is already in the price.
It depends on what EPS you're giving it. If that provisioning is large, then your net profit declines. But if the provisioning is going to be written back, then maybe this will be a Q4 blip, but not something that will continue into Q1 of FY18. So I don't know how much the markets are going to react to it. CLSA is giving a number of 1,000 to 1,500 crore, and Ritu broke that story yesterday. So maybe that worry will be near term.
Also, I guess this is not for ICICI Bank, but we've seen a lot of weakness in PSU banks. That's got a lot to do with the fact that FM announced in IBLA Award that expect something in few hours, and we few days have passed and we have not seen anything
it's
on that
actually
front.
3 weeks.
3 weeks
almost
now.
4 weeks if it is April 23rd.
Yes.
It was on March 23rd that we have the India Business Leader Awards. So since then, both from Delhi and from Mint Street, some expectation that NPA resolution rules will be tweaked is preying on the minds of bankers. I mean, there are bankers, every time I phone them and ask them, is this resolved, that resolved? You tell us what's coming from Delhi and when. You tell us what's coming from Mint Street and when. That's the question they keep asking.
Exactly. And what if you see SBI's chart, it nearly topped out that day, and after that it's not corrected much. Yesterday, of course, there was some correction. Ashwini, your thoughts on PSU banks in particular? Yesterday they were weak.
Well, they were hoping for something, and if that doesn't happen soon enough, this correction can get a bit worse. So chances are PSU banks are likely to pull the Bank Nifty down, and private banks will have to do the heavy lifting. I think still they are in the buying zone. Probably this correction should get bought, but you need positive news flow for these stocks to continue their upside.
Okay, and then metals. Sudarshan, is there any continued short trade in Vedanta, Nalco?
Nalco, I wouldn't touch, but Hindalco and Vedanta are both likely to become weaker, and Tata Steel.
Ashwini, what would your 914 call be?
So I'll go with Edelweiss. That's a buy with a stop of 173, target of 186. Also on the bank nifty, if we open very close to 21,400, which is a previous short-term low, you would like to buy out there and see what happens.
Okay, it is indicating 21,400 at this point in time. Mayuresh, any of the banks that you all are buying now, you spoke to us about Karur, any other banking stock?
So within the mid-cap universe on the private side, Lata, I think Federal Bank is something that I'll still continue to like. I suggested that at lower levels, expecting strong numbers to still come through. And Lakshmi Vilas Bank, I think again the worst in terms of asset quality pressures, advances growth is probably over. So if I have to pick and choose within the mid-cap private space, Federal and Lakshmi Vilas will also stand out for us.
Okay. Fair enough. Indices seem to be starting on a flat note, but mid-caps, like in previous occasions, look at least spoiling for a good start, a strong performance. But Bank Nifty is the niggling worry, and that was not unexpected. You will see a little bit of weight. Yes Bank has a 6% weight, 5.86% weight on the Bank Nifty, so that will pull lower, as will perhaps ICICI Bank if the market is going to take it as a fresh negative. In my own book, it's not a fresh negative if that account alone is going to be written back. PSU bankers, all of them told us that they've already accounted for the JP Associates exposure, but we have not heard from the private sector banks. That's a second to go. The opening trade is green for the Nifty and slightly red only for Yes Bank. It's about 3.5% down. So 1550 is holding at this point, and it's getting better. 1554, 1558 as I speak, 155758 is where it's finding its feet. So 3% lower. That's the punishment that's been delivered for Yes Bank, and may stabilize there. So we will revisit it. The next stock that's got the stick is ICICI Bank, that's down 2.4. IndusInd Bank continues to belabor in the red, so it's not finding buyers at the 1400 mark. It's just about stabilizing there. That's IndusInd for you. Other stock in the red is also Axis Bank, that's down just 0.6. SBI also down about 0.5%, and that's the red list. But the green list is equally important. Reliance is actually leading the pack, 1.2% higher. Tech Mahindra 1.2 higher. Kotak Mahindra Bank 1% higher. HDFC pulling higher 1%. So that is supporting the Bank Nifty admirably. Kotak and HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank about 32% of Bank Nifty. So that can counter a lot of bad news, as is Kotak Bank, which is 1% higher. Hindalco is up 0.8. TCS is also a little bit of green, 0.8. Infosys as well, 0.7. Then there's BPCL, IOC, all of them giving about 0.7% gains. That's the lot really. Markets are starting higher, as are other Asian markets. 0.2% higher. Bank Nifty is rapidly eroding or rapidly controlling its losses. It's just down 1%.
Okay, well, yeah, in the mid-cap space, the stock of the moment really is Sun TV. It's up almost about 6% and volumes are also picking up on Sun TV right now. In any case, it's been a huge performer. It's up 80% this year, so it's not like there's anything new. It's been on an uptrending trajectory, and Sun TV is a big move. The other stock giving it company is Shalimar Paints, 8% higher on Shalimar Paints. Porinju's fund has bought into that stock, so there's some traction seen there. Sasken is also doing quite well actually this morning. So good numbers coming in from Sasken. That stock is up 5.5%. Look at Jai Bharat Maruti. So this market is clearly in a space to reward companies that have delivered good numbers. Jai Bharat Maruti 12.5% higher now on very good earnings coming in over there. A lot of stocks hitting 52-week highs today. V-Guard, Fortis, India Cements, Petnet LNG, Mahanagar Gas. A lot of these are new entrants into the F&O space as well. So let's take a look at some of them. MGL is there, Canfin Homes, Bajaj Finserv, Balkrishna Industries, all of them into the F&O space. So I like the way the mid-cap market has opened. A lot of good stocks rallying today. On the downside, Treehouse Education is down almost about 7% odd. The promoter Rajesh Bhatia is absconding as per reports, and SEBI is now close on his heels. So Treehouse is down almost about 8% odd. And a couple of other stocks, Nalco just a bit of a grind on the downside, but otherwise it's all uptrending. A good market, Anuj.
A good market, and you know the Bank Nifty didn't even give you that 120 point dip. And really the stock of the moment is Sun TV. It could easily have a bit of a trend day. You know, every day we're seeing one or two stocks in the F&O market which are giving you huge trend days. Ashwini, your thoughts on market opening, the Bank Nifty, which is actually stronger than what the pre-open indicated, and Sun TV?
Okay.
See, these are the kind of days when, you know, people get answers to the question which way, you know, the money is going, or whether dips are getting bought. I think the best buys right now are probably Bank Nifty as well as Yes Bank. Whatever decline you are getting, just go and buy it. And Bharat Financial, where lots of short positions were there, but post the IndusInd conference, shorts are getting covered even there. Sun TV is not a great futures buy. Yes, you hold it in your portfolio and keeps going, but I don't think you should buy something in the futures once it's up already 5%. But today could be a day, because Bank Nifty is coming from a dip where PSU banks could also get back a lot of what they lost out yesterday. So maybe State Bank, BOB, etc. On this early morning dip can be bought.
Okay, that's a very positive start to the markets, you will have to say. So 21,500 now on the Bank Nifty itself, and the losses in Yes Bank also are much under control. It's only a 2.5% kind of loss. So clearly at lower levels, there have been buyers even for that stock. Sudarshan, anything now moving into your radar?
Yes, Engineers India, which is in the F&O space, and Capital First, both for buying. And it is quite possible that today could be a good day for the bulls. So stay on the long side unless proved otherwise.
Well, yes, looks like the market is in a mood to trap shorts today, just like it did trap longs yesterday. Mitesh, any stock that's looking good to you?
See, in fact, engineering is something which I was watching as well. But apart from that, I think HDFC Bank is something definitely interests me. I think a good intraday pattern, a breakout into fresh highs is always welcome. So I think HDFC Bank could even be a trading opportunity. Buy with a percent kind of a stop loss. 1447, 1446 is what I would recommend, and look for a target close to about 1500 over there.
Okay, well, the stock in the broader markets that's really surging now is Jai Bharat Maruti. I mean, less than 12 months ago, it was, about 150 rupees or so. Look at where the stock is now, almost at 500. And it's become a 1,000 crore market cap, this one, Jai Bharat Maruti. Very good numbers coming in. Ashwini, I don't know if you track this one, but any thoughts on how to approach it, either from a short or a long-term perspective?
See, again, autos or auto ancillaries have done very well. So if Maruti has done well, chances are the ancillaries supplying to it would do well. So just with that basic kind of thing, you can have it as a portfolio stock. I don't think you should just play it for a trade for a couple of days, etc. This can be one of your, auto ancillary plays.
Okay. Ashwini, the other one which has had a breakaway gap today is India Cement. How would you approach it? It was one of your calls yesterday as well.
Well, cement, something is changing, particularly in India Cement, because yesterday's move was a very strong move which took out a lot of the action on the left hand side. So chances are we could get 210, 215 on India Cements in the days to come.
They announced that one of their amalgamations has been cleared by the NCLT, Trinetra and something else. I don't know if that's the reason. Okay, Mitesh, anything in your radar now?
I think apart from HDFC Bank, I think mid-cap stock HCC is something which I like a lot. I think it's making a fresh 52-week high. So I would be a buyer there as well. Keep a stop below 42.70 and look for targets of around 52 over there. A disclaimer that I personally have a stake, hold this company in my portfolio.
Okay, Mayuresh, before we let you go, quick word on any of these paint companies, if you like any of them, because Shalimar Paints is up, marquee investor buying there, but any other stocks that you like?
So again on declines, AkzoNobel is something that I'll continue to prefer. What happened in terms of demonetization, remonetization, largely just stated in numbers that have come through. Q4 might have a reflection of that to a large extent. But going forward, as volume demand starts catching up, and if as one assumes crude staying at the levels that is, the titanium dioxide prices stay benign, which aids crude companies. So I think AkzoNobel is something on declines that I'll prefer. And I've always liked the market leader Asian Paints, decorative segment, repainting demand coming back in semi-urban areas. I think that's a huge push through in terms of both volumes and price for these stocks.
Okay, Mayuresh, thanks a lot for joining us. Sudarshan, Mitesh, thanks to you as well. Ashwini, before we thank you for the moment, any big call for the day after market opening?
Well, Capital First is doing well, so the NBFC theme continues for the day. So try to pick up on some of these. Bharat Financial, although it's in a ban period, I think possibly microfinance could have a better day. So you can look at Ujjivan or Equitas also, because the other NBFCs are also running. So here, the declines have been sharper. So the pullback or the short covering could take them even higher than the normal stock.
Oh yes, Capital First, in fact, as we speak now, is up 3.5%. Second top gainer in the F&O market. Just pull out the chart of that stock. 3.5% higher is what we have on that. Ashwini, thanks. Of course, we'll speak closer to 10 a.m. Harsha Upadhyay is with us now, CIO of Kotak Equity, Kotak Mutual Fund.